ask the question. You get to point the awareness at one particular party or the other. You get to decide where you are in the mediation process and move it forward or move it backward. That's all in your control. You're not responsible for how the other person responds to your requests. You're not responsible for whether they come to a resolution or not. That's not your job. Your job is to support the process. Their job is to resolve it if it meets their needs.
And to follow your own intention to connect. You can have an intention to connect, but that doesn't mean that the other person will be connected back or be connected to themselves.
At the most essential level, deepest down, your only choice is which way you're going to put your giraffe ears on.
Yeah.
Are you going to connect with your own feelings and needs and speak from your honesty to direct the process in a way that you think is life-serving? Or are you going to empathize with wherever the pain is?
That's the consciousness. That's NVC consciousness.
Say that one more time.
Are you, your only job as a mediator is to decide which of these ears you're going to put on. Connecting with your own feelings and needs and requests to guide the process in a life-serving direction. Or connect with the feelings and needs of either or both of the parties or your co-mediator. So really, it's a very simple job. But as you saw, as the complexity increased, it's not necessarily easy. But your only job is to decide which way your ear's on and to try to keep your giraffe ears on. It's your only job. Chris and then Jade.
So I guess the question I would ask is when you as a mediator, facilitator get triggered, how do you handle that?
I do this.
So do you take a time out though? And you,
Sometimes I have to leave the room, but I'm learning to just, that's why we have a co-mediator. I can go inside, take care of my anger or my hurt or my disappointment or my frustration and trust that my co-mediator will take responsibility of the process while I take responsibility for myself.
And if I'm by myself and I get that triggered, I have a couple of options. I can actually go to honesty in that moment because I obviously don't have the resource to go to empathy. I can also go to the bathroom.
Really?
Excuse me, I'll be right back. And take a moment. Or I can ask for silence and not even leave the room. I can say, I need a moment of silence here. Just so let's just take a moment and connect with ourselves and see where we are. And that's actually a really beautiful thing because that gives the person, all the people in the room, the opportunity to do that.
Does that help, Chris?
Yeah.
Jade.
Along the same lines, so have you ever had situations where because it became so unworkable or that person was really stuck, one of the two, in an anger space or whatever, that did you have to then just say, it looks like at this time we cannot move forward, or what would you do?
Yeah.
I guess.
You could say that. I can't recall it happening.
I think I would own that myself. In the moment I'm feeling just hopeless.
Okay.
And I really have no idea what to do. And it's amazing. That has actually moved the process forward.
So rather than
just to be honest.
Share with them that way. Share
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, I've actually been in a moment of like complete horns locking, cracking together between the two parties. And I just went inside and connected to my own feelings and needs. And then I said, you know, I'm feeling really heartbroken here. I'm so sad that nothing that I'm doing seems to be supporting you and getting connected. How do you feel hearing that?
how do you feel hearing that?
I say my honesty and end on a clear and present request.
So this relates to the second question, which is, I would call that your willingness to be vulnerable as a mediator.
Yep.
And when last night at home, I went and read some of the needs thing, the chart, like how you feel when you're fulfilled and how you feel when you're not. And on the quote-unquote negative side or the unfulfilled side, you had vulnerable.
Yeah.
See, but I guess I see it differently. I would have put that on the other side of
Could
the...
be, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, so
Could be,
yeah.
yeah.
it's a strength as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Vulnerability is strength.
Actually, despair can be a strength.
So can
Despair,
sadness.
because I can be so clear how deeply I feel about a need not met, that it will motivate me to do something. So any need can be a resource if we use it to move toward having our needs met.
So we're going to break for lunch, and I bet you have more questions. So ask them of each other. Okay?
And we have
You guys
some,
need a break.
we'll be back this afternoon, and we'll be sitting around, so,
But really, do the same process.
yes.
I'm really feeling puzzled about whatever it is, and connect with each other, and notice how two hearts are bigger than one. And you can come up with an answer that probably works for both of you, or maybe you have two different answers. But let lunch be a process of continuing the explorations.